Hi, my name's Claire Maxwell at Embodied Learning Systems, and today's video is going to be about how to keep your spine mobile when you are suffering from neck pain. Everything that I'm going to say today is perfectly good for pain anywhere along the spine, but this is especially for those of you who know what I'm talking about with neck pain, because it's so, when you have pain in your neck, every movement you make becomes a little scary. And everybody knows that the more mobile you are, the healthier your bones are. But when you're in a lot of pain in such a central area, mobility can be, you just lose it. That's what happens. Your range of movement gets narrower. So I've got two tips or kind of concepts to share, and then I'd like to demonstrate how they play out in a very simple movement exercise. So the two concepts are: one, micro movement is still movement. Micro movement is better than no movement. So even though the fear and the emotional reality of having pain in your neck rightfully makes you careful about moving, there's still a zone of micro movement that can be pleasurable. Even if it's not in this part of your body, it exists in other parts of your body. So look for pleasurable micro movement wherever you can find it, because if you move even your leg joints up and down, or you move your fingers or your arms or your shoulder blades, they're connected to your spine. So any kind of pleasurable movement you can find is good. The second concept is to consider the spine as a whole community of bones. Much like a snake or a train with a bunch of segments that are connected, even if you have an area of the spine that doesn't move much, it can still move as a whole. And what was the first point? It can make micro movements as a whole. And so let's depart from being literal with our anatomy and just take a look at this beautiful structure. And what I'd like to propose, just for fun, and when you have pain, fun is sometimes hard to come by, is that all the bones, there's like 4 little tailbones, and then there's your sacrum and your lumbar and your thoracic and your cervical bones, that even your head, you can kind of think of it as like the last vertebra. It's pretty big, so it's good to remember that there's something there. And in terms of how your micro movements between vertebra happen, what that means is that you're not trying to locally move one part of your spine. You're moving the whole thing. That's how you want to think of it. So it means you have to kind of open up your mind a little bit. So these two free areas of our spine are where we get the most injuries, and we tend to think of them locally. So what if we don't? Woo! Okay, so that kind of gives you an idea of what the movement I'm going to do might be, okay? So what I'd like you to do is stand up if you weren't already. Oh gosh, it's hard to get the right angle, but I want you to see my whole body. So, yeah. So, for my purposes of encouraging mobility in your spine, I want your feet closer together. When we put our feet outside like this, we're more stable, but we have a greater tendency to brace. And bracing is the opposite of mobility. So bringing your feet closer together, you may find that there's a little bit more surfing or sway over your leg joints and hip joints, your ankle joints, and your knee joints. And even if you get into micro movement, it's very hard to feel anything specific in your spine, but you can just imagine how those little bones are just shifting slightly. And they do have discs between each bone that are a little bit like a water balloon. So there's a little bit of micro movement between each vertebra. So what you're going to do is, instead of locally moving just your neck, you're going to let the whole spine just kind of curl, very tiny curl to the left. And what that means is that the weight of your head is a little bit more over to the left. Now that could take you off your base, but if you let the bottom end of your spine slide gently in the opposite direction, well, it's a lot. You can keep your balance, and you might have to let that knee fold and that hip fold a little bit, and then you can kind of come up again. So let's try that to the other side. So again, don't think of locally just moving your neck there. Think of letting the whole spine curve just a little bit, and this top vertebra is heavy, so when it goes out, the bottom vertebra has to shift over that way, and maybe this hip, ankle, and knee shift a little bit, and then you come up. So just try going side to side, and it can be so tiny. You could let your head turn a little bit if you want. And so this is a movement of the whole body over your ankles, shifting the whole body weight up and over the ankles. It's not a local movement of just your neck. In fact, you could let the neck be really quiet, and you can even minimize movement if you need to. So now, as we go up and over, let's add a circle of the head to go forward and the tail to go back, but it's just a micro movement, and then coming up. Ha. And then over to the other side. So your tail would be doing a little circle to the back as your head does an opposite circle to the front. And it's just a micro movement of your whole spine. And I think it's hard to mentally really realize that the sacrum is part of the spine. It's not stuck to your hips. Your hip bones, it's kind of part of the spine. So allowing your sacrum to move can really ease the neck. You can let the neck be really quiet, just let the sacrum move instead. And then when you come back to center, just check in with yourself and see, what is that like for you now? Is the sense of ease in your spine maybe a little greater? So I hope so. I keep trying to get these under 10 minutes and failing, but that felt good to me, and I hope you stayed with it the whole time. If you would like to get more visuals and educational content related to this topic, sign up for the newsletter below, because I do these videos to go out with my newsletters, but there's always supporting content that might be helpful to you. Okay, thanks for watching. Peace.